This November 11th, we remember 100 years since the end of the First World War and those who lost their lives in battle. But it's also about remembering and honoring those who are still among us. And that's the goal for a 25-year-old BC filmmaker who is traveling coast to coast to tell those stories.
A story's got to be told, so don't back off on this one.
Why did you want to do this?
So basically the reason I decided to do this was my grandfather was a Second World War veteran. And growing up, I would hear some of his stories. And it didn't really hit me that we never had to record these stories until after he passed away at the age of 95. And it made me think what other stories were out there. And he'd never been interviewed, never written down his memories. So I thought, gosh, I wonder what other Canadian men and women are out there that have never given an interview or never been on camera. So I sort of decided to save up some money. And I'm a film production major from UBC. And I decided to get a van and go across the country and try and go from Victoria, BC, all the way to St. John's, Newfoundland.
I can imagine it would be difficult. How are you getting a hold of everyone? How are you tracking everyone down?
Certainly. So basically, it started out with a bit of investigative journalism in the sense of I type in the town I was going to and World War II or veterans and into Google News and find people that way. And then it sort of evolved into calling legions and having quite a presence on like social media and try and get into newspapers or on shows like this one and try and
people can find you.
Exactly, yeah.
That's great. And what are some of the stories that you're hearing? Because no doubt there are so many.
Yes. Well, there's been it's hard to just choose one story, but there has been a lot, and it's been interesting because there's been a lot of women I've been interviewing, and you might not associate women with the Second World War, but Canadian women volunteered in the thousands, and basically a lot of them, they haven't told their story because they didn't think it was good enough compared to some of the men, but some of them have been absolutely incredible.
There's nothing chicken about this old hen.
This is all just you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's all just me. Well, being a 25-year-old filmmaker, there's not a ton of people who, I guess, trust you right off the bat with a lot of money.
Sure.
So I decided that this was a story that needed to be told now because already I've had seven veterans who have passed away since interviewing them. But fortunately, their stories will be preserved through the video that I've done.
Eric continues his journey to the Maritimes and hopes that his documentary will be complete by next year. Melanie Ng, City News.